One of the great things about living in New York is that no matter what you're hungry for, it's all right here at your fingertips.
Oh my God.
I would love to be able to cook really good Indian food at home. Oh, God, is that good. Food that sort of came out of my head and my heart instead of out of a book.
I use 63 spices on a regular basis.
Wow.
The great actor Jeffrey Wright and I are going to learn how to make a cuisine that for hundreds and hundreds of years has been adding layers of complexity.
New York is my home, and I think it's the greatest place in the world to eat.
The food that is available here is diverse, extraordinary, and delicious. New York has a really large South Asian community out in Queens that people from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India all call home. It's a corner of New York that I really want to explore because I love Indian food, I love the flavors, I love the heat.
And so I've invited the actor Jeffrey Wright, who is a real chili head, to come explore Jackson Heights with the cooking teacher Julie Sani.
I seek out spicy food. I won't say an addiction, but I have a strong friendship with spices.
When I discovered that Jeffrey's someone who loves food, loves to cook, and especially shares my passion for hot food, I knew that he was the person that I wanted to take Indian cooking classes with. Julie Sani is one of the great authorities on Indian cuisine. Her classes typically have really long waiting lists, and I feel really lucky to have the chance to cook in her home.
If you want to enjoy vegetarian food, there's nothing more wonderful than Indian cuisine.
Julie's going to take us through Jackson Heights, which is sometimes known as Little India. We're going to be tasting things I didn't know you could get in New York. We're going to be eating pan.
Oh my God, I'm getting the fragrance.
We're going to be eating these wonderful little things called pani puri. And Julie's going to show us how to make my favorite Indian street food, dosa. We're going to be doing a very spicy red fish curry. She's going to show us a fascinating vegetarian dish, and it's like nothing that I've ever seen before in my life. We're going to be doing stuffed taro leaves and a wonderful, easy shrimp dish.
Gosh,
Oh,
That's gorgeous.
brings back memories. Oh my Lord.
Is this from India?
It's not only from India, it's hand-cut, handmade, and I grew up eating on this
Wow.
all my life. So it's been in generations in the family.
Using her family's tawa, Julie's going to show us how to make dosas.
These are crepes that are made with rice and beans. What you do is you soak them separately in water for about 8 hours because you want to soften them so that when you grind them, they become very nice, fine puree. And then we're going to let it ferment. And then you take that and make crepes with them. See, that sound is necessary. And then you go very slowly.
Do you make pancakes for your kids?
Yeah, I'm known for my pancakes, actually.
I can see that.
You're an artist. Look at
Yeah.
that.
There's something really wonderful about this circular motion that you make. You have to get it very, very thin because you're only cooking it on one side.
And as you see, as it begins to set, that's when you're going to add the oil. Take a small amount and just dribble it.
That fermented smell is so delicious.
You could sprinkle quite generously because
So that's the way we like it.
I want to make a Mysore masala dosa. It's one of my favorites because it's absolutely covered in really, really hot peppers.
you know what that pepper powder is called? It's called the gunpowder. It's literally, that's what we call it.
And this is a chutney of coconut?
It's a coconut chutney with lots of ginger, enormous amount of green chilies, and curry leaves, and they're all ground up together, and then it has a mustard seed. You need the combination of the hot and
cool.
together.
Pretty cool. That's great.
Yesterday, Julie took Jeffrey and me for an all-encompassing tour of the fabulous little India that is Jackson Heights. Our first stop in Jackson Heights was for Indian snacks. Julie took us to a place called Rajbagh for chaat. Chaat is a wide array of Indian snacks.
You know, you could do this with a spoon or just with a fingertip.
The snack that Julie is most insistent that we must try is pani puri.
And before you say anything, you open your mouth.
This is about as much fun as you can have with food. You're doing exactly what you've always been told not to do, which is put too much in your mouth.
Oh my God. I can't believe it.
Oh, I can't wait for you to eat this.
Oh, wow.
It's crisp, it's moist, it's spicy, it's sweet, and it completely fills your mouth.
What's incredible about it is that it saturates every part of your mouth.
Right.
The flavors spread throughout because of the delivery.
Well, Jackson Heights is the place that you want to be if you want to get authentic Indian products and if you're going to be an Indian cook. And we have come to the Patel store, which is a giant supermarket of all Indian products. If you knew nothing about Indian food and you walked into this store, you would know very quickly that this was a cuisine that relied very heavily on lots and lots of different kinds of spices.
So this is the spice section, which has got spices in small quantity. And there are a couple of spices here which are very important. Like when you're starting off, there are 5 spices which are considered as the underpinning of Indian cooking. Right at the top is turmeric. The second spice in order of importance is the chilies. Indians love hot food, so chilies are important.
That's why Jeffrey's here.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and then we have 3 more, which is cumin, coriander, and mustard seeds. As you get more recipes and learn more, then you learn to use other spices. For example, I use 63 spices on a regular basis.
Wow.
India gets credit for all this, but India started only with 3 spices.
Huh.
Only 3.
Turmeric.
Turmeric, black pepper,
And cardamom.
and
that's it.
cardamom.
That's it. And then they sort of took credit for saffron,
Huh.
which really isn't Indian because it got introduced from Iran in ancient
But
times.
because it was this crossroads for trade.
Yes.
All of these other influences
Yeah,
came.
and of course, India has this habit of taking it, absorbing it, and calling it their own. So now India is the spice land of the world. You put everything in the mouth.
So-
Look at that. This is very interesting. This is actually not a spice, it's a fruit called kokum. It's a sour fruit. It's like a version of tamarind.
Uh-huh.
When you make red fish curry, for example,
Huh.
this is a must.
With our next dish, we get a chance to actually cook with the kokum, a thing I've never done before. From the comfort of her kitchen in New York, Julie's going to take us on a cooking tour of India.
So now we're going to be making a dish from Kerala. Kerala is in south of India along the west coast, and it is famous for amazing seafood dishes. This is a famous one. It's called Kerala red fish curry, and the red comes from red chilies.
Is this an oily fish, a strong fish?
No, this is a mild fish. It's a non-oily fish. We are going to combine ground red chilies, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of coriander. So that's our curry paste.
Wow.
Fenugreek has gone in.
Fenugreek has a strange sweetness that reminds me of maple syrup.
We can add our onion. You're going to add your chilies. You're going to add your ginger and garlic.
Wow.
This is really wonderful. This is how Indian cooks check if the masala paste is fried nicely, because you smell the spoon.
Man, that's just magical.
So we're now ready for our kokum.
All of it?
All of it.
The kokum is a dried fruit, so we soaked it in water for about an hour. Then we added a branch from a curry plant. It's very confusing that the curry plant and curry powder have the same name, but they're completely different ingredients.
You sort of feel sorry for all the people in the world who don't have all these spices.
You make this very, very rich broth, and then at the very end, you just slide these fish in and very gently cook them for a very short amount of time.
What do you think?
Okay.
It's just lightly cooked fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really spicy.
Well.
Oh, God, is that good. What's coming out of this is you are getting the sweetness of the fenugreek and the sourness of the kokum, which comes on sort of after the chili.
Yeah. Here, Jeff.
Oh,
I hope it's not too hot. Hot meaning
that's
warm
fantastic.
hot. Huh?
That's really fantastic.
When we were shopping yesterday for spices, Julie introduced us to some really remarkable vegetables. I encountered things I'd never heard of, I don't have a clue how to use, and I'm not just talking about one thing, I'm talking about lots of things.
Oh, these are so beautiful.
Isn't that wonderful? This is bitter melon. It is, as the name says, really bitter.
Wow.
Whoa. So do you eat the whole thing?
You can just taste it. Yeah. Not so bitter.
It's almost like a pepper.
Like a bitter green pepper.
These are like a cross between cucumber and okra.
They're called
So-
tindora.
Tindora. See them?
Oh, they look like they kind of look like okra
Yeah.
inside.
Sort of like cucumber, but when it's cooked, it almost tastes like okra.
So we get some?
Sure.
After we bought the vegetables, we went off to taste a really interesting Indian tradition. It's a digestive chew called pan.
Okay, so this is a classic Indian digestive. And it doesn't matter if you've had a French food or Italian food, Indians always have to finish their meal with the pan.
It's so amazing to me. I did not know that you could get pan in New York.
Yeah.
You know, I've always read about pan, but I thought I would have to go to India to get
How about you, Jeffrey? Have you seen pan before?
I have not seen pan, but there are many things in New York City that I have
Okay.
not seen.
Look at that.
Wow.
Before he folds. Just smell this.
Wow.
And
That's wonderful.
that's centuries of experimentation.
So
to get
this
it right.
has not only the beetle leaf, it's got beetle nut and the fennel and the coconut and all these other goodies which are all digestive.
Oh boy.
And it's an experience. There you go. They are so happy they are speechless. Totally. Is it sweet? You can say yes.
It's very complex.
Oh my God, I'm getting the fragrance.
Every time you chomp down on it, you get a spurt of another flavor.
The fennel is there obviously, but there's also a sweetness, and then everything is kind of balanced by the leaf.
It's a sort of startling all body experience because you can feel this stuff down to your toes.
This is great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Back at Julie's, we get to use yesterday's market vegetables in a fascinating vegetarian dish.
Okay, so now we'll be preparing a dish from Calcutta. It is completely vegetarian, it's all vegetables, and it's called shukto.
Shukto.
Shukto. The important thing about shukto is that it must have bitter melon, which we saw in the market.
The shukto is introducing me to more strange vegetables than I have, I think, ever seen in one place in my life.
It feels like rubber. It's like a tire.
Or the carcass of a strange animal.
You know, this is small. They usually grow to be 4 feet, and then you hold it and it snakes. And it's in English it's called snake squash.
Oh my! Oh,
Wow.
You see how aromatic it is?
Yeah.
And Indians would kill for this vegetable.
By now, I'm getting used to the idea of using all of these different herbs and spices as a masala, but this is the first time that we're using the stone grinder.
How am I doing, Julie?
You're doing very well. You need to push.
Ah, okay.
There.
So that's where the grind comes
That
from, not
is-
from the rocking.
No,
so much.
not from rocking.
Okay.
And you see how beautifully both of you have ground this? This is like a real Indian home.
Along with all these spices and the masala, we're throwing milk and sugar, and then we're going to boil it. It seems very strange that we're using milk instead of water.
So you can see that roasting occurring, all that? That's what you want. Oh Lord, it looks so good.
There's so many textures and flavors in here. It's really just wonderfully exciting food.
I can't wait to eat this.
Yeah.
Julie has another vegetarian dish that she wants to introduce to Jeffrey and me, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before in my life.
This is a taro leaf.
Taro.
You know, cows love them, but you know, at some point, Indian people realized that if cows like it, it has to be something delicious.
And of course, he's
So-
native to Brooklyn. Grow in my backyard.
Oh, wow.
The next dish that Julie's going to show us is called patra.
This is the black chickpeas, and then when you remove the skin and split it, then you end up getting something called chana dal.
Oh, right.
And this is yellow split peas, not to be confused with a supermarket variety.
The chickpeas are soaked for about an hour, and then they're combined with red chilies, cumin, coriander, turmeric, and asafoetida, which is a kind of very strange gum resin that smells terrible but adds a lovely savory flavor to the dish.
So this is the batter, and you can now start getting ready to make the little rolls. So you're basically going to cut this into half.
Wow. It's amazing.
It's,
So this is like rainforest area.
yes, look at that.
So I'm going to cut these again.
And this is from the west.
Along the western coast,
Western.
coastal area, there's an area called Gujarat, and they have staunch vegetarian
Jains.
religious groups, Jain, even Hindus there are vegetarians. And I was raised with this. So we used to have this on Sundays. There's not like a cigarette. You want it to be slightly loose because you want to make sure that when it steams, it has certain amount of place to expand.
Think so?
Beautiful.
The rolled taro leaves with chickpeas and spices steam for about 10 minutes.
So everybody gets his own?
Everybody gets their own, absolutely.
Here, I got it, I got it.
Wow, fabulous. And you're going to slice this, and you can just smell this. It's just amazing. This is a green.
No, it smells like coconut. It smells like there's
Wow.
coconut in there.
It's kind of the rainforest. I mean, that's what I'm smelling, you know?
It's tropical, it
Yeah,
is.
Look at the layers and layers and layers you've gotten there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very satisfying for something so simple.
Vegetarian meatloaf.
The final step is to season the dish with a combination of mustard and sesame seeds, tossed very quickly into hot oil.
See, that sound is very necessary because that gives really wonderful flavor.
This is everyday food. I mean, this is
Yeah,
ordinary
it's
staple
everyday.
food.
Ordinary, kids come back from school
Wow.
and somebody would have this ready.
But the thoughtfulness behind it is incredible.
This is Indian version of quick fix pizza.
Any cook wants to have fresh herbs. Any Western cook worth his salt grows his own parsley and basil and thyme on the windowsill. And of course, Julie wants exactly the same thing. She wants the freshest possible herbs.
So earlier in the week, Julie took me out to New Jersey to visit Nari Bhatia's store. This is one of the only shops in the entire United States that sells a wide variety of living plants whose leaves are used in Indian cooking.
I love this place. This is Nari's world. You know, he's so good with the herbs and Indian plants.
Is there another place like this?
As far as I'm concerned, no. I would like to see your wonderful curry plants, you know.
Yes, right here. Here's a curry plant.
I think one thing we need to talk about is when Americans hear curry, they think of curry powder.
That's true.
Curry plant has nothing to do with curry powder, right?
No, nothing. In fact, you know, curry powder is a blend of spices, which has, of course, turmeric because of that yellow color. It has coriander, cumin, fenugreek, mustard, and all.
But no curry.
Yes, no curry at all. The interesting thing about the curry plant is that they're subtle difference in fragrance of different curry leaves. We can just smell one leaf and say, this is my aunt's home outside Chennai in Madurai.
That's right.
And I could say, oh, this is from my mom's place in New Delhi. You know, we can literally pick up.
So when you go from one relative to the other relative, they are cooking the same dish, but they taste a little bit different because their curry plants are a little bit...
If I could just take a whole plant and put it in the pot, I'd do it. It just does magic to food.
The next dish we're going to make is a very simple, quickly cooked prawn dish that takes advantage of our lovely fresh curry leaves.
Now we are moving south and making this dish from Chennai, which is in Tamil Nadu. What they do is they put a spice rub, and this consists of ground cumin, ground coriander, and chilies. If they are doing this in Chennai, this will be about at least 3 times as much, and it tastes good.
We could ask for a little
Yeah,
more,
we-
couldn't we?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Shall we? Okay, so we're going to increase that. And then we have mustard seeds, which are supposed to be ground.
The spices are tossed in with the shrimp, and then we saute garlic and slices of ginger in a clarified butter called ghee.
It needs to be nice and hot like that because you want the ginger to caramelize. This is the curry leaves.
Really?
And it's going to fly all over, so you got to be careful here. Now mix it, mix it. Now, you want this to brown. Now you're going to be adding shrimp.
Okay.
Oh, the smell now of these curry leaves is now sort of dominating. The idea that you just are squeezing lime juice on at the end is the perfect finishing touch.
So should we taste?
We should taste.
Yeah.
Reusing shrimp. You could do this with scallop. Calamari would be wonderful in this.
This is delicious. Oh. What I learned cooking with Julie was so much more than just Indian cooking. Well, I want to take this mellow wine and thank you for introducing me to a corner of my own city that I didn't know, and to a fellow chili head.
That's right.
What a pleasure it was cooking with you.
That's right. Well,
Salud.
salud.
I've lost my fear of Indian cooking.
Oh, these vegetables are so nicely cooked.
It now seems like something that I can really do.
I always thought that Indian food was sort of incomprehensible. And now I feel like some of these dishes are so simple.
And at the same time, it's everyday food, but it's still so delicate and so thoughtful and just spectacularly flavored.
I've really learned foods that are utterly and completely new to me, and I want to learn more of them.
This chutney,
This
you're
is another chutney.
sneaking things in on
That's
us.
a tamarind chutney. It's really hot.